All right, we're live.
Boom, we are live. Another Quickie Coors Light pregame. Mountains are blue. Means it's time to chill. The beer that's made to chill. Beer that's made for Mets fans. Beer that's going to get us through this next week and a half of Mets baseball. I was going to say craziest. Mets baseball. That's all you need to see. Celebrate responsibly. We're going to be celebrating Edwin Diaz pitching 4 games in a row. Another save tonight. Call it now. Shit. So
listen,
here we go, boys.
If you are in Pennsylvania tonight, download the Barstool Bets app, Barstool Sportsbook, and I mean, dare I say, bet on the Mets and bet on Edwin Diaz and bet on these guys to keep it rolling, or is it, we come back down to earth because? But I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Edwin Diaz being good officially means we're in the upside down, and I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's happening, because if that can happen, anything can happen. But also, talk to me, Clem. I'm not saying that we're going to win out and make the playoffs, but I was expecting us to kind of limp to the finish line here, and instead we're turning it up a notch. I wish we turned it up a notch a week ago, because it would be a totally different situation. But you're usually the one to pull me back to Kunsalina if necessary. But where are you? Or is it just too late in the game to even worry? Just enjoy the last few games. We probably won't make it, but no need to protect yourself.
Yeah, let's just enjoy it. Have some fun here. We have let our core be the ones that win us these games. Gimme Jimmy fucking make it around the bases and somehow not die from a torn hamstring. Mm-hmm. Let Conforto. What is he, third in the league in hitting? Kyle, you said
he's fourth
in the league in hitting, which is crazy.
Freddie Freeman's in first with 351 average, and he's
crazy.
340.
It really makes you respect the Tony Gwynn year. He batted 396, and the years that Ichiro would bat 390 and 380, because they do that over 162. And there are, we were talking about, can guys, will there be someone who hits 400 this year because of the shortened season? And it's looking almost like a regular year where it's someone's going to bat, 350. I think LeMahieu is crazy, right? He's batting 370. Tim Anderson, 370. Yeah. So there is some crazy numbers, but the fact that these guys were doing it over 162 is fucking bananas. But yeah, let's see Conforto close out strong. I'd love Pete to hit a couple more home runs. I'd love to, just everything that we can build for the future. I don't need Robinson Cano, and I don't need those idiots. And speaking of, so the article that drops today from SNY about Cespedes, I mean, I guess you can consider this a little bit of a bombshell, but I mean, we already knew this. We already knew that Yo was not happy with how he was being used. We knew that he knew that he wasn't going to hit his incentives, and he was upset about that. We knew that he liked playing the field, which is crazy to me. If I was at that stage of my career and they said you get to go be a DH, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let me just go swing 4 times a game. No big deal. But, that was the official report. Now, where are you at on that? Do you think Cespedes is a scumbag for that?
No. It's this is the other thing, too. Think about all the shit you have to go through just to go to the store, right? They have to do this just to go to work every day, and he has all that money in the bank. He's probably fuck that. It wasn't going to help his free agency, too. And whether or not it's 1%, 10%, there's also the part where it's you really just don't want to get sick, because Freddie Freeman, before he was leading the league in batting average, was praying that he doesn't die. It's get me out of this shit. And again, you're not dealing with the Steve Cohen Mets. You're still dealing with the Wilpon Mets, where you have shitty bosses. You're going into your shitty job every day, and at that point, it was extra shitty, because I remember there was some sort of crazy, there was little bumps in this season that I can't remember that happened a month ago, but I just remember it was during one of our very Metsy times where we were losing in comical ways and crazy shit was happening. So he's probably just fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I was thinking from a real life point of view. If you were at your job and they cut your pay from $29 million to $6 million, and then you had to earn your way up, and then it was prorated, and then they were kind of I don't think they were fucking him over, because he didn't deserve to. It wasn't like he was awesome and we were benching him intentionally. It was just you're not that good. But if you took that massive of a pay cut and then also weren't being used the way you thought you were going to be used, you're probably just fuck it, man. I mean, this idea that players have to be undyingly loyal to the franchise and show, be professional and be a gamer and always play. And it's it's any other job. If you had a massive pay cut and then we're kind of getting fucked over, you'd be Yeah, I'll get to work at 11, dude. Like, fuck off. You know what I mean? So I don't love it. I'm not praising the guy, but I started to think about it from my own point of view. If that happened to me, I was thinking if Cespedes like won the World Series for us or was productive those other years, you think that they would have. I mean, the Wilpons are always looking for a buck, but do you think like other ownerships groups would have been like, that was fucking crazy that you were running around a ranch with a boar, but you won us the World Series or you're like our MVP, so we'll just give you your full contract. The fact that they wanted to recoup every single penny, it's like, okay, you do you. I understand it. Get every dime you can, but I'm going to do me, and I'm not going out on a limb for you guys either. So I kind of understood both sides of it. I didn't think of it as like I don't think there's like a real villain here.
Well, like a lot of those guys, you can't even play basketball during the offseason. Like those contracts are so strict. Like who was it? I think it was Bauer cut his finger on the drone. Like shit like that, where it's like these are all stars. They're paying you all of this money, and like you're going to be on a ranch fighting a wild boar. The other thing with that is that he's recovering from the double heel surgery, and his ankle's fucked. So like your immune system's already probably a little bit shot from having to go through all that. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he's hitting 161, honestly, it was like silver lining for us because
definitely open up Dom Smith, like all that shit. Yeah,
we don't get Dom Smith the way he is. So
yeah. So I mean, blessing in disguise for the fans. The Mets, Wilpons get to recoup those last pennies before they're on their way out. And Cespedes kind of says like, other ownership, I would be like maybe you should do the right thing and play. But with these guys, like it's not like he had like a lifelong career with the Mets. It's not like he, he had like he owed it. Just like fuck it, whatever. All right,
take a flyer on him.
What's that?
Said someone will take a flyer on him. He'll play on like
he's not going to go get another 3 or 4 year deal for $100 million, but he'll go get paid by somebody else, and that's that. So I think there was some people kind of up in arms about it, or some people like, oh my God, can you believe it? I'm like, I absolutely can believe all sides of this. Not surprising at all in any way. So tonight, give me the lineup. What do we got?
So Pete's out for a second night in a row. So this is kind of weird now. I mean, we've made it to that point where Pete's getting all these nights off. McNeil's leading off in left. JD Double Davis, designated hitter Davis, Double Davis is batting second as DH. Conforto, Frazier, Dom Smith, Cano.
See, this is the lineup minus Todd Frazier there. This is what I would love. McNeil, Davis, Conforto, Alonso, Smith. To me,
Alonso.
Is the five for the future. That would be, if you swap out Todd Frazier there, that to me would be the five of the future. And then you sprinkle in, some other guys here or there, hopefully in free agency. Put Real Muto in there, that kind of shit. That I love seeing. I'll deal with the Todd father for a couple more games, but that McNeil, Davis, Conforto 1, 2, 3 is sexy as fuck.
That is chef kiss.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing right there. I don't know like where we're at with Rojas. Like I don't even know enough about him to really say whether he's like an Aaron Boone type who's just a complete fucking puppet, or if I'm not saying he's fucking Tony La Russa out there who's like puppet master, but I am just so intrigued with baseball lineups these days all across the league. Is it all numbers? Is it all analytics? Is any of it still by feel? Does any manager value like repetition? Like I remember a day where it was like you had a regular lineup and it was that every fucking time. 06 it was like you could count on Reyes, LaDuca, Beltran, Delgado, Wright, Floyd, like every fucking time, whatever it was.
What a lineup.
That just it was so beautiful, man. It was such a beautiful thing. And that I don't know whether that is just because we haven't really had that good of a lineup in recent years, or if modern baseball is just always gonna tweak and change based on the pitching matchup and all that. I mean, logic would dictate as we get more and more critical and analytical that your lineup really shouldn't remain the same as pitching matchups and team and defense matchups change. But at the same time, I do think there's probably something to get in a groove a little bit and knowing where you're going to hit every day. So I don't know exactly what type Rojas is, but I would love to see that front five almost in that order every single time.
Yeah, and I think with him for the long term, or even I guess it's not even long term, it's like next year, I imagine whoever Uncle Stevie hires as his GM or the czar of baseball ops is going to depend how much they want the manager's influence. And I imagine whatever they're going to look at Rojas and be like, is this the guy that can do whatever we need for us? So we won't even know what that
what's
is.
funny? Like, I want Brody fucking gone ASAP. Rojas, I'm like,
yeah, whatever.
I'm indifferent on Rojas. I feel like he struggled with the bullpen at times, but coming off of Mickey, and prior to that, Terry with like Terry Ball, I'm just indifference to my baseball manager. To me, is like sounds fucking good as long as I don't hate your goddamn guts. So I don't necessarily think we need to go. If it was another year where like Girardi or somebody was really available, like okay, but I can't really think of who else I would love to replace him. How is Girardi doing in Philly, by the way? He's like, I haven't really heard. Is it like, he's changing? They're not that both really that good. They're losing games to us in the manner that they did is like, well, you must not be, cracking the whip too hard or rallying the troops exactly. So
Phillies fans, because we follow Philly people, right? We all have friends who are Philly people, and I haven't seen like Binder Joe like rants. I've seen Carson Wentz fucking sucks. I've seen Embiid and the process and Elton Brand and everything there. I haven't seen much Binder Joe slander.
But I also just can't. Can you imagine getting that mad at a baseball manager these days? Like I just don't think it's, especially with the DH in the NL now. There's not as much posturing. It just seems to me like if you have a head on your shoulders, you have a brain at all, that all this shit is coming from a computer and coming from above, and getting mad at the messengers just seems silly.
And this is the other thing though too, is that like the big manager that everyone wanted, that we wanted, was Joe Madden, right? And he's done shit out there, right? Yeah. So it's like, even him who just won a World Series,
but that's what I wonder.
A lot of success.
Is it just like a dead position? Is it like a big man in the NBA? Like, we just don't need you anymore. And maybe it was the right move to not pay those guys. What were they looking for, like $4 or $5 million a year or whatever it was? Like, maybe that was smart.
Like, none of those guys are getting big paychecks except for the big name guys. So like Girardi, Madden, like Mickey was one of the lowest paid managers in baseball across the board. And I got to imagine Rojas is even less than that.
Oh, yeah. Rojas probably still on like his minor league contract or whatever.
Like, it's making like $400,000. And that's the thing. It's like, how can you really take a guy who's your age or like your peer who's making way less than you seriously in the clubhouse? That might be the one thing where it's like he's buddy with everybody and he doesn't want to like get on them for base running.
Right.
Shit. That is bad. The lineup drives me insane. I don't know if it's top-down organization, but like as a hitter, unless they're doing it in the minors where every day you're in a different spot, like you're seeing a totally different pitch sequence.
Yeah.
The amount of runners on base. It's so different to
but also at the same time, if they sat you down and they were like, we consulted the fucking spreadsheet and we're showing that you're gonna be put in a position to succeed. You're maximize your chances by doing this. If it's just like willy-nilly, it's probably crazy. But if they say to you, like, listen, he's prone to pitch this way to this spot, and the way they had the defense there, it's going to leave a hole here where you often hit the ball, blah, blah, blah. If you go into it with that knowledge, maybe you're pumped about it. But, yeah, I would imagine just every day going out there knowing, like, all right, McNeil's going to get on in front of me. I know I got Conforto behind me. I know, blah, 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 blah. Right. I would think there's value there. But I also think there's got to be a reason why, and it can't just be sheer incompetence of our managers, that you just see a different lineup on every team every fucking day. I mean, the Yankees, I see Yankee fans complaining about the same shit. Back when the Yankees were bad, they're fucking hot again. But there was a lineup they had where they had like 6 hitters in a row, all batting under 200. And Tommy Scabelli was like going crazy over it. But something had to say to do it that way because logic doesn't dictate it. So I don't know. It's I think we might finally be getting to a point where we are the old men when it comes to something like that. Like the younger generation might be like, oh my God, Clem and KFC are complaining about the fucking manager again. Like we even give a shit. It's almost like people who still talk about wins as a pitcher. You're just like, it just doesn't even matter. Maybe that's where lineups and managers are going. I don't know.
Well, I got a little breaking news for you. Speaking of shit that doesn't matter in lineups, Luis Guillorme just got sent down to the alternate site or whatever for was that Colome guy, the reliever, and they can't bring Guillorme back now unless someone goes on the IL. So, and that's like, and he's batting 347. He's he's our left-handed bat off the bench, and all the beat writers are like, what the fuck's going on? Which Brody's saying, oh, my daily operations haven't changed. I've talked to Fred and Jeff. Everyone seems good. Brody, the only reason you're going to have a job is if Uncle Stevie is like too quick for him to fucking launch you into the sun on that slingshot I've been dreaming of, because that's the only excuse. It's the only way Bobby Axelrod ain't fucking grinding you into dust. So that's
think,
the
by
latest.
the way, I always think that like DeGrom must look at Brody and be like, "Fuck you, man." Right?
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, you know, it was his decision at the end of the day, but like a good agent probably would have been like, you know, there's a change coming in the market, and some of these guys the next couple of years are going to get 2, maybe even 300 million. Maybe you want to get more than $137. I would look at that guy like, yeah, I know it's not your fault per se, but fuck you, dude. You suck as a GM, and you really boned me as my agent. So fuck off. Guillorme though.
That's interesting.
Did his dad tweet anything?
What?
Check his dad's Twitter, see if he said anything. I mean, he was a nice piece this season. He was pretty important at times, to be honest. I am there's something going on. There's something afoot. There always is, man. Where there's smoke, there's fire with this goddamn franchise. So I don't know what that's about, but I mean, well, in that case, I gotta salute you and thank you, Guillorme, because you know there was a time where we really needed it, and he was there. So heck of a year, I guess. What the fuck?
Yeah. No, it's because our fucking bullpen, our arms are shot. They have Steven Matz, and they're like, this guy might throw 3 pitches tonight. We don't know what the fuck he's going to do. You know what I mean?
God, it's got to be terrifying going in, just being like, I don't fucking know. We'll see what happens tonight.
Right. By the way, I wanted to let you guys know this. I was looking at the Braves lineup. Guess who the Braves cleanup hitter is?
No.
And granted, cleanup hitter doesn't mean what it used to mean. Like the guy who hit 50 home runs, Travis d'Arnaud. Travis d'Arnaud is their cleanup.
Shout out to
He's having a great year there. Of course.
He's awesome. I
mean, you know, when you see Travis go on, he had some success with the Rays and now the Braves. You see Hansel Robles with the Angels, and you know, you just start to wonder, there's a common denominator here. And you start and then it makes me think about guys like Diaz, where I'm like, I don't know, man, you were so bad and I was so on your case. But now that I start to see you turn it around, who knows? Maybe they were using you wrong. Maybe it's an organizational thing, because it just seems like everybody's pretty good elsewhere, guys. It's either a fucking curse, like a black magic, black cloud over us, or there's something tangible here going on, and it's the front office. I'll let you fucking be, or a combination of both. I truly believe in the curse, but there's also certainly something tangible with how shitty of a front office we have. So, the Braves tonight, I mean, what's the Braves record? Where are they at?
They're in first.
I mean, they're sitting pretty, right? So, like, you know, this will be a real test.
29 and 21.
We'll see if the carriage turns back into a pumpkin here, or if Cinderella still has a little bit of a run in her, because things have been good, and Atlanta's a motherfucker, and so we'll see.
Gotta go.
Come on, Cindy. I believe in you, baby.
We'll be back tonight for our second quickie.
Crack your Coors Lights.
Get your Coors Lights out. We got a big Friday Night Pints in 21 minutes with a Rogues Gallery. We got a whole weird crew. We got Hard Factor Pat, Vibs, Devlin, Donnie, Mackenzie, and someone else. Fuck, I'm forgetting one other. So a real whack pack, and we're gonna do a little over under at the Horseshoe Bar with the end of the Phillies Blue Jays game. The total. What's the score there? Do you know?
Phillies Blue Jays is.
I'm going to do a hot take right now. I'm going to put on the record. This is the Clem guarantee. There's going to be a moment tonight. There's going to be a quote. There's going to be something said or done, because that is a ragtag team. That's when Barstool thrives at its best. Yes. So I'm putting that out there now. Must watch, preemptive must watch on that.
What's the score, Kyle?
3-0 Philly.
3-0. The line was 6.5. And so we're doing over under at the bar. Half of I had everybody put in their picks for over under, and they will sit accordingly at the bar. I think I'm the only person who picked the under, so we'll see. Everybody else was high on that matchup, so I might be the only winner tonight if things hold true. So we'll be doing a little gambling. You can go get the Barstool Sportsbook now. Shout out Penn. Buy your pen. Download the app. Place your bets in Pennsylvania. All the guys have moved to Philly, so they'll be doing their shows and their picks live from the city of brotherly love. So shout out to you scumbags in Philly. Everybody download that app, place your bets, take us to the goddamn moon, and we'll see you tonight after the game. 4 in a row. Can you make it 5? Well, you gotta believe.
Got it.